Hello students, this is Kanika. Welcome to my channel PrepBiology. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss about the most important topic of class 12th boards examination is the methods of contraception. Okay, so this topic is very important for your board exams, so make sure this topic is clear to you all. Okay, so let's start with the lecture. So what do you mean by the contraception or contraceptive? The contraceptions known as these are called the birth controls. Okay, birth controls which prevent the pregnancy, pregnancy. Okay, so the contraceptions known as the birth controls, it is a way to prevent the pregnancy. So in this class we are going to discuss about different methods by which a couple can prevent the pregnancy. Okay, so there are the different types of contraceptive methods. First is the natural or traditional method. Second is the barrier method. Third is the IUDs. This is very important. IUDs, like intrauterine devices. There are the different devices which are used for the contraceptive. Okay, so there are the oral contraceptives and there are the different methods which comes under the surgical methods. Okay, so these all are the types of the contraceptive methods. So in this class we are going to discuss one by one. Okay, so the first method is the natural or the traditional method. This is the very safe method for a couple. Okay, and having no side effect. Okay, so the natural method work on the principle of avoiding chances of ovum and sperms meeting. So these are basically the methods, traditional methods, which are basically work on the principle that they avoid the chance of ovum and sperms meeting. Okay, so in this natural methods we have three categories, three terms which are very important. First method is the periodic abstinence, second is the withdrawal or coitus interruptus, and third is the lactational amenorrhea. So these three definitions or the three methods that comes under the natural method. The first method is the periodic abstinences. Okay, so in this method, as the name suggests, periodic means related to the time. Okay, so in the periodic abstinences, the couple avoids the coitus. Avoid the coitus. Coitus means intercourse. Couple avoid the coitus from 10 to 17 day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. Okay, okay, so we know that in the menstrual cycle, the in between 10 to 17 days, the period is called the ovulatory period, in which the ovulation takes place, in which the maximum chances of the ovulation or the ovule release is maximum. Okay, so the periodic abstinence is the couple avoid the coitus, the couple avoid the intercourse from day 10 to 17, between 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. Why? Because in this period, between this period, the chances of your ovulation, the chances of fertilization is maximum. Okay, so as the chances of fertilization is a maximum, that is called the fertile period. Okay, so this is called the fertile period. So by avoiding the intercourse from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle, which is the most important period for the ovulation, if a couple avoid these days, if the couple avoid the intercourse during these days, the pregnancy should be avoided. Okay, so this is called the periodic abstinence. Okay, so second important method under the natural method or traditional method is the withdrawal or coitus interruptus. So as the name suggests, coitus interruptus or withdrawal method is the method in which a male withdraw his penis from vagina just before ejaculation. Okay, so withdrawal or coitus method is the in which a male withdraws his penis from vagina just before the ejaculation, okay, so that it prevent the insemination. We know what is insemination. Insemination is a process that release of the sperms into the vagina, into the uterus of the ovary. So the insemination should be avoided. No pregnancy will be there. Okay, so withdrawal or coitus method in which before the ejaculation the male withdraws his penis from the vagina, so to avoid the insemination, that process is called the withdrawal or coitus interruptus. And the third last very important method under the natural or the traditional method is the lactational amenorrhea. Lactational amenorrhea means the period in which the menstruation does not occur. Okay, so this is called the absence of menstruation during the lactational period. Okay, during the lactational period, just after the parturition, just after the delivery of a baby, the lactational period starts. So the absence of the menstruation in lactating mother, okay, so it is most effective up to 6 months following parturition. So this is the most effective time, that is the 6 months following parturition, in which the absence of the menstruation in a mother. So this period is also called the temporary infertility. Okay, so this is the period in which the chances of conceiving is negligible. Okay, so these all three methods are important under the natural method or the traditional method. So these all methods have no side effect. Okay, so this is the most safest method, natural methods of contraception. The second method is the barrier method. Okay, so the second method is the barrier method. Barrier methods are work on the principle that the ovum and the sperms are prevented from the physically meeting with the help of different barriers. Okay, so the ovum and sperms are not fused with each other from the physical meeting. Okay, so prevent the pregnancy by use of the different barriers. So the first barrier is the condoms. Okay, so the condoms are available for both female and males. Okay, so the condoms are available for both males and females, and the condoms are basically, these are the thin rubber or the latex sheath, okay, which are disposable in nature and used by both male and female. So in males, by the help of the condoms, the males cover the penis, okay, and females cover the cervix or vagina, okay, just before the coitus. Okay, so just before the intercourse, the males cover their penis with the condom and the females cover the vagina with the condom. Okay, so by which the ovum and sperms are prevented from the physical meeting. Okay, so that the ejaculated sperm would not enter into the vagina. Okay, so this is one barrier method. And the most important brand of the condom is the Nirod, which is Nirod brand, which is very famous for the different kinds of the condoms. Okay, and The condoms also protect from different sexual transmitted diseases, AIDS, etc. Okay, so these are also important for protecting from the STDs, that is the sexual transmitted diseases, and AIDS. The second methods like diaphragm, cervical caps and vaults, these are used only by the females. Okay, only by the females. This is important. So these are also a rubber like substance, okay, material that is inserted into the female reproductive tract, okay, that cover the cervix, okay, that cover the cervix during the just before the coitus and block the entry of the sperm. It will block the entry of the sperm. This is very, very important. So if we go to increase the contraceptive efficiencies of the different barrier methods, a couple can use different spermicidal creams, jellies and foams, so that these all barrier methods, the efficiencies of these methods should be are increased. Okay, so by using different barrier methods, a couple can use different creams, jellies, foams to increase their efficiencies. So if we see these different pictures, this is the condoms, this is the male condom, and the condoms for these are, this is the female for female, and like this the Nirod brand is famous for the condoms, and the diaphragm, cervical caps and the vaults, which are used by mainly females, these are look like these caps, these are the rubber caps which prevent the entry of the sperms. Now the third very important method of the contraceptive is the IUDs. IUDs is the intrauterine devices. This is very, very important. Intrauterine devices, as the name suggests, which are inserted into the uterus of the females. So intrauterine devices are used by the females. Okay, so these devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the vagina. Okay, so IUDs are used by the females and they are inserted especially by the doctors or the experts. So under these categories we have three subcategories. First one is the non-medicated IUDs, second is the copper releasing IUDs, and third is the hormone releasing IUDs. These IUDs are very, very important. Okay, so understand it carefully. So if we talk about the non-medicated IUDs, non-medicated means, why non-medicated IUDs? Non-medicated basically means the devices are made of plastic or stainless steel only. Okay, so these are the devices which are made of plastic or stainless steel. Okay, so under the non-medicated IUDs we have the lips loop. Example, lips loops are made of plastics. Okay, so these are made of plastics. Okay, these are the double S-shaped structure. Okay, and what is the function of lips loop? It increases the phagocytosis of the sperm within the uterus. So it increases the phagocytosis of the sperm in the uterus. The function of each and every type is very important. Okay, so second is the copper releasing IUDs. Copper releasing IUDs, as name suggests, they are releasing the copper ions. Okay, so under these we have example copper T, copper 7 multiload 375. Okay, so the copper ion released from this device, copper ion released from this device that suppress the sperm motility. Okay, sperm motility. This is important. And fertilizing capacity of the sperm, and suppress the fertilizing capacity of the sperm. The next is the hormone releasing IUDs. These are the IUDs which release different hormones. We have example like progesterone and LNG20. So what is the function of these? They make the uterus unsuitable for implantation, and cervix hostile to the sperm, Okay, so these all examples with their functions are very, very important. Okay, so if we see the IUDs are the ideal contraceptives for the females. These are the ideal contraceptives, and these IUDs are mostly widely accepted methods for the contraception in India. Widely accepted method. Okay, if you have a question in your exam that which method of the contraceptive is widely accepted in India, so you have an answer IUDs. Okay, so if we see the different pictures of IUDs, so this is the lips loop, this is a double S shaped structure. Okay, lips loop, and this is the copper T shaped, having the copper membrane is covered. Okay, and we have the multi-load 375 structure, which is somewhat similar to the copper T, and we have the hormone releasing IUDs like LNG and the progesterone. So these all IUDs are also important. The next fourth method of the contraception is the oral contraception. Oral means through mouth. Okay, so these are the small doses of either the progestogens or progestogen-estrogen combination is another contraceptive method used by the female. So these are basically the small doses of different hormones like progestogen individually or the combination of the progestogen estrogen, so that, and used mainly by the females. Okay, so these oral contraceptives are basically the tablets, okay, in the form of tablets called the pills. Okay, so these pills are taken daily for a period of 21 days. Okay, for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of the menstrual cycle. So these pills have taken for 21 days by the females starting within the first 5 periods of the menstrual cycle. So this is important. So in between, in the menstruation period, that within the 7 days, these pills can be skipped, and after 7 days it is repeated in the same pattern to prevent the conception. Okay, so the time period for the pills are also very important, so that they can the pills inhibit the ovulation and implantation process. Okay, implantation process. So these pills are basically the progestogen or the combination of the progestogen estrogen hormones, so that they can inhibit the ovulation and the implantation process. Okay, so the pregnancy should be avoided. So the most famous pill which is mostly used by different females is a Saheli. Okay, so these are available in the markets. Saheli, named Saheli. These are the oral contraceptions, and they are consumed by the females. They contains non-steroidal preparation, okay. So they are taken once a week, having few side effects but very effective, okay. So having the few side effects but they are very effective. Side effects, okay. So the Saheli is a pill which is orally taken by the females, having the non-steroidal preparations, taken once a week and having few side effects but very effective, okay. So this comes under the oral contraception. Next very important method is by the injections, different injections, or we can say implants, or we can say the subcutaneous Norplants. So these are basically the hormones, these are basically the hormonal implants through the injections, okay. So progestogen individually or progestogen estrogen combination is there, used by the females as injections or implants under the skin. So this process is basically, these are the injections, these are the 5 to 6 rod-like structures, rods or the mastic structures containing the capsules, okay. Inside it we have a capsules, okay. These capsule contains a different progestogen and progestogen estrogen hormones, okay, which are inserted specially by the doctors or the experts, okay, under the skin of the arm, okay, under the skin of the female arm. So these small rods containing the capsules which contains the synthetic progesterone and inserted by the doctors in the under the skin of the woman's upper arm, okay. So this is very painful process also, okay. But this method of the subcutaneous Norplants or implants are for a longer period, So the pregnancy is prevented for at least 5 years, okay. So these subcutaneous Norplants or implants, the mode of the action is same as pills, but they are more effective for a longer period. So this is also very important, okay. So make sure these methods are clear to you all. The last and very important method is the surgical method, or which is also called the sterilization. Surgical method, that in the surgical intervention blocks the gamete transport and thereby prevent the conception, okay. So this is both for males, females and males. This is basically a surgery of a female or a male reproductive system. In males it is called the vasectomy and in females it is called the tubectomy, okay. In vasectomy occurs in the males and tubectomy occurs in the females. So vasectomy, as name suggests, the part of the vas deferens is removed in the female reproductive system or tie up through the small incision on the scrotum, okay. And in tubectomy, as name suggests, a tube, that the fallopian tube, a part of the fallopian tube is removed or tie up through the small incision in abdomen or through the vagina. So if we see the structure of the vasectomy and tubectomy, this is the vasectomy, this is the vas deferens. The part of the vas deferens is cut by the surgery and they are tie up through a small incision on the scrotum, okay. And in the tubectomy, the fallopian tube, the part of the fallopian tube is removed and they are all tie up through the small incision in the abdomen or through the vagina. So the tubectomy and vasectomy, this structure sometimes have been asked in your previous exams. So make sure the difference difference between vasectomy and tubectomy is clear to you all, and these structures, what these structures represent, this is also very important. So we have discussed all the contraceptive methods that are important for your board exam point of view. So in the last section of the lecture, we will discuss one question that have been asked in 2023 board examination, that you have a MCQ type question that given below are the two columns, column 1 and column 2. Okay, so select the option where the contraceptive devices are correctly matched with their respective modes of action. Okay, so you have a contraceptive devices here and the mode of action is here. You have to match the column. So if we see the lips loop, in the lips loop we have studied that it increase the phagocytosis of the sperms in the uterus, so it will match with the second, phagocytosis of the sperms in the uterus. So if we see in the options, P is matched with the second, so we have a first option is there. So by seeing the first part, that is the P part, we have our answer. So this is the first answer. Let's match other options also. Multi-load 375, it will match with the 4. What is the option in the 4? Make cervix hostile to the sperm. This is also very right. Okay, subcutaneous Norplant causes the thickening of the cervical mucus. This is also right. And Saheli, which will inhibit the ovulation. It will go with the first. So first will be the answer. So these kind of questions have been asked in your previous class. So if you like this lecture, like, share and subscribe my channel, that is PrepBiology. Okay, so if you want to check out the different important topics, important diagrams for class 12th board examinations, you can check out my channel, that is the PrepBiology. Thank you so much.